Good evening, Southbridge. This is Charles Diaz with Southbridge Meets, and tonight we are so elated to have this program be right here in Jacob Edwards Library here in Southbridge, Massachusetts, right here in our hometown. We'd like to also give the library a thanks for hosting us, as well as partnering to do this live event. We're being taped in front of a live audience. Never thought I'd say that in my life, but we're going to be doing that tonight in honor of our local hero here in Southbridge, Wilfredo Pagan, Wilfredo el Sucaro Pagan. So Wilfredo, if you can come and grace us with your presence, my friend. We can give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, my friend.
Very much.
So we wanted this for a while now. We've been talking about this for some time. You've had quite a ride since you started this journey of boxing, but since July. I mean, how is since being a champion, what is this whole ride been like for you?
Well, it's been a lot of blessings. I mean, like, since I win this belt, there was a challenge. Yeah. But finally that I got it, since I get it, I mean, all I keep getting is blessing. I mean, like, people showing me some love, yeah, some support, like even people from my hometown. Yeah. I went on my hometown. They they surprised me with a little parade they did around where I grew up, in my my barrio, Cantito de Manatí, and then keep getting more activities. I have, as a matter of fact, on Tuesday, sorry, I have an activity on the Lions Club. Then one of the biggest one was at the town hall. Yeah. They give me this proclamation, and they talked to me about it. Jasmine talked to me about it. She explained a little bit, but I wasn't imagining, when I went there and they have a day. Right. My name, like, was, I couldn't believe it. Like me, like why? Like I'm, yeah, like, I'm still in shock. Yeah, I still, like, couldn't believe it. All this happened to me, and honestly, like, this is what I want. It means, right, a lot to me, but I wasn't expecting any of the other stuff. Right. Yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, like what we have here is we know that outside of just part of this whole journey for you, and then the celebration, you were able to also throw out the first pitch, which was great, along with some other boxers as well that are along with Rivera Promotions. Is that right?
Yes.
And then, like you had mentioned as well, you got to go home y en casa en Manatí. ¿Cómo te sentías de estar allá enfrente de tu familia, gente que te conocen de pequeño?
Bueno, ahora mismo viendo las fotos y me da como sentimiento, ¿verdad? Yeah. Porque son mi gente, es mi barrio, gente que me han respaldado desde un principio. Estuvieron ahí, nunca se rindieron conmigo, siempre estuvieron ahí apoyándome. Ellos me enviaban los mensajes, veían las peleas. Y siempre sentía ese apoyo de corazón de la isla, y no estar aquí presente para ver mis peleas, pero ellos en su corazón y lo veían. Te digo que mi gente de Cantito, los quiero, los amo, mi familia. Todo este logro también se lo debo a ustedes, y con mucho corazón le digo siempre que estoy agradecido con todo lo que han hecho por mí.
Y como había dicho antes, and how he alluded to earlier, we also did give him a proclamation here in Southbridge, which was an honor. It just happened. This program we wanted to get it a little sooner, and that's why we're also doing this in Spanish, because we want to also celebrate Spanish Heritage Month. But with obviously the pride of Puerto Rico here, our Latin pride here, Wilfredo. But this was an honor. I imagine, being able to be said, Wilfredo Pagan Day, like, it was one thing, like you said, to, have the goal of, getting your championship belt, but then another is to say that your town, you know, is giving you your day, which must be, you know, an honor.
No, it was, once again, I'm still in shock. Like, I mean, I'm just, you know, this is just a fight, you know what I mean? But I know it means more. It means a lot, what people think, and I'm starting to understand little by little. And I'm just, like I tell everyone, like I want to try to be a role model for this town, for my community, for the Hispanic community, that you know, everything is possible, and with hard work and dedication, you know, things happen. Things, dreams do come true. So once again, that's why whatever the town needs me to inspire the young generation, and even the old generation. Doesn't have to be younger, because I started a little late, but it was possible. So that's what I'm here for.
That's great. So I wanted to kind of bring us where we are now, present, things that just happened, but I think we also need to rewind. I want the you know, folks at home that don't know your story to get a little bit about you, and so I want us to be able to kind of tell. So tell us a little bit about your you know, your start. So you were born in Manatí, and you said you were born on Mother's Day. It was a gift to Mom.
So, and I always said, like, I was the best gift from my mom. So, yeah, so I born in Manatí, nacido, criado en el barrio Cantito, born and raised in Manatí from barrio Cantito. Since I was like probably, I don't know, like maybe 10 years old, I had a neighbor that he was a boxer. It was like maybe like 3 houses down, Macho Perico. Sí, siempre te llamamos y siempre te llamo. Sé que si estás viendo, cuando veas este video te vas a acordar, porque siempre tenemos comunicación en Facebook. So he was the only boxer like that I knew. Like, and one time there was some fights in town, and I seen him fighting. And since I saw him fighting, like, I fall in love with the boxing, and I want to do that. I want to be a boxer. I want to be a boxer, and you know, tell my parents, like, Dad, Ma'am, you know, I want to be a boxer. So, you know, my dad says, well, yeah, it's okay with me, but Mom. Whatever your mom says. So, so my mom is right here, Amparo. Love you. She says, nah, that's too dangerous. That's a sport that's really like dangerous. I don't want you to get hurt. Right. So you can do any other sport. You can do baseball, you can do basketball, you can do volleyball, and I support you in any other sport, but not boxing. So, and I respect her decision. I like, all right. So I did baseball, played baseball, volleyball. Basketball wasn't that good in basketball, but I was more into the baseball. Yeah. Played a lot of baseball. My dad was a coach, and he showed me a lot of stuff because he plays. He's a really good player, and I was like, it was amazing the way he played, and I always like I want to be like him in baseball. Now boxing, so I'm like, I love boxing, but cannot do it. So I wasn't like really focusing like in boxing.
Now you were watching your neighbor and that was in boxing, but that influence didn't stop you from, like, you know, you couldn't play. Obviously, you couldn't fight because your mom didn't want you to fight, but you were still very in.
Yeah, I was like like in town. It's always like in town the people had the glove, and you used to put the glove, and I used to put the glove, and I used to be pretty good at it. And everybody's like, man, you're natural. You're good at it. You practicing? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And even my neighbor used to come around and start doing shadow boxing with me.
Yeah.
But that was it. And there was a story. My brother had like a basketball game, and there was a boxing gym out there. And I went to the gym, and I get in the ring, and I start boxing with another guy, and I get whacked in my eye. My mom find out, and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, I don't want you to do that." So, and siempre, como dije, siempre quería hacerlo, y pues ella no me dejó, pues me quedé
honrando a tu madre y tu padre.
Sí, siempre, porque hay que, o sea, hay una disciplina.
Right.
Desde niño, ellos me enseñaron a respetar,
Right.
y pues eran sus decisiones. Unos niños a veces traviesos y qué sé yo, pero cuando es no, es no.
Right.
So, y yo entendía en ese momento también lo peligroso que es boxing, pero siempre me quedé con eso, con ese deseo, con esa hambre, e incluso me gustaba pelear. Siempre me gustaba estar peleando.
Yeah.
Cualquier persona de estos chamaquitos que viniera a buscar un problema, pues ellos rapidito.
Ya tenía yo mi chance.
Sí, ya yo, ok, aquí tengo mi chance. Yeah. En verdad, tuve
Right.
mis peleitas.
Right.
Tenía mi coraje,
Right.
y tenía como ese anger, like, I don't know. So
boxing eventually would be your release, that you needed to sort of channel all that, but yeah. So now, we're talking, you couldn't do it until you said in our talks before, it wasn't until you moved out here to Southbridge, right, that this kind of all changed for you, correct?
Yeah, so what happened was, like, my parents moved. My sister, she was already living in here already. Mm-hmm. So, and then my parents moved, my brother and my parents, and they want me to go with them, and then I'm like, oh, no, I stay. I like to stay, whatever. And so I stay over there. I stay over there by myself, thinking I was the man now.
Yeah.
I can be by myself. And things wasn't that easy that I thought.
Life showed up
without
quick.
being without
Right.
my parents.
Right.
And I had a construction job, and then we finished that construction, and then, like, I couldn't find a job. Then, because I finished my high school, but I didn't went to college or anything like that. Just trying to find, went directly to work, whatever. And so I couldn't find a job. And then my dad had a friend and do, like, work on the side, construction, side construction, whatever. And he gave me a job, but I was too brutal. I mean, I wasn't in love with construction. That's not for me. So I did it because I need the money. I did a little bit.
Now, was this in Puerto Rico?
That was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And then, like, then I stopped. And my mom, there's something that my mom doesn't know, but now we're here, so I'll tell about my story. My mom knew, she used to call, and she said, oh, why you don't call, why you don't this? Because she knew, like, something wasn't right. And what wasn't right is, like, there were some days that I have nothing to eat. I was hungry, and I used to go to my uncle's house just so I can eat, or my friend's house, stuff like that. So it was some days that I was, starving myself a little bit, but it was my own fault because I decided to stay. It was my decision.
Right.
And she sent me money. She used to send me some money and whatever. But and then a month went after, and I saw a bunch of groups, a bunch of my neighbors with a bunch of other guys, and I'd seen them, like, every afternoon, like around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and I see the group, the guys with bags, and and then, like,
what are the guys up to?
I'm like, what's going on? Like, every time, at this time, like, what's going on? Where you guys going? So they're like, oh, we're going to the boxing gym. I'm like, boxing gym? Where? Oh, we're going to Vega Baja. And I'm like, Vega Baja? Can I go with you guys? And they're like, yeah, let's go. So there was Edgar, Chamaco Santana. He lives in Harlem, New York right now. He was active boxer back then, amateur. So he grabbed a bunch of guys and started going over there in the gym. And I like, went with you guys, and that's when I started doing it. I like, well, my parents are not here.
Right.
So now I can try. Now
you're
I'm old enough.
I was saying, you're 19 at this point,
I was
right?
19.
Okay.
So I only did that like for 5 months. And I was pretty good out there. I remember at the gym over there, they're like, Dan, like, have you been doing this before? Like, no, I've been putting the glove in the street and stuff like that. And they started putting me against the professional boxer to practice with them because they saw how I was progressing. Like, and then, like they couldn't believe how good I was doing it. But then one morning, someone knocked on my window. So, alguien vino una mañana siguiente, me pegó a tocar en la ventana, boom, 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 tocar en la ventana. My sister. Out of nowhere, I didn't know she was coming. So, mi hermana llegó y abrió la puerta. ¿Cómo estás?
Nos vamos.
Nos vamos. Like, ya es hora, tú no estás haciendo nada aquí. Vámonos, pues allá tú vas a estar mejor, aquí no estás trabajando. So, and that's why.
That's what got you here in Southbridge.
That's what got me here in Southbridge. So, I moved here in August 20, 1999. I was 19 years old. And about year 2000, like at the beginning of the summer, was spring, summer, Ray Colon, Ray, he knew about that because he used to box. He used to go to Uptown Boxing Gym here in Southbridge. And because his mom used to work with my sister, co-worker, he find out that that I box. And he bring me to this gym, Uptown Boxing Gym. Went in that day and introduced me to Dave DiGregorio, Shad.
Who David in his own right is a boxing legend here in Southbridge as well, right? He's gone through the
yeah, he won the Golden Glove twice, and he got this boxing gym, and he'd been training a lot of people in Southbridge. I mean, he's still doing it. So that day that I went to the gym, no English, so I didn't know nothing English. No sabía inglés. Todavía no sé, pero me defiendo. Ese día yo sentí esa conexión. Like, I felt like that connection. They made me feel like part of them, and they don't know me.
Right.
They made me feel part of them, and ellos, pues, me dieron esa, ¿cómo se dice? Ese welcome, los brazos abiertos, y por eso hasta el sol de hoy, ahí estoy con ellos, porque son como familia para mí.
So, let's get a little bit of your background in terms of something that people might not know. So, where did you get your nickname, El Sucaro? What is that? What is the meaning behind that?
Bueno, the nickname of El Sucaro viene de mi abuelo.
Okay.
El papá de mi papá. So, es una pregunta que todo el mundo me hace y yo como que en verdad no he llegado exactamente a buscarle el significado correcto al porqué. Yo solamente desde chamaquito cuando conocí a mi abuelo, paz descanse, siempre lo admiraba, porque él era tan serio. Él se sentaba en su silla, serio, y como que había que respetarlo. Cualquier cosa, siempre ahí bien serio. Y entonces me contaban historias de él, de que era una persona seria, de que con él no se podía relajar, con él no de esto, porque o era bueno el puño, o like, era una persona que...
Militant.
Sí, those old people that like you don't mess with them.
Yeah.
So, and I like, that's me. So I felt that connection. That's me. Okay. So I want to be like him. So in our street, there was like, I don't know how many Wilfredos, like 5 Wilfredos. The same street, my dad, another neighbor, his son, down the road is another Wilfredo. So, and me, Wilfredo. So,
trying to identify you.
To identify, they're like, oh, Wilfredo who? El Sucaro. De los Sucaros.
Okay.
And that's how the Sucaro started, because they started calling my dad Sucaro. And then they started calling me Sucaro. And it was more me because, like, I was more like my grandfather. Like, I like to fight, you know, like, so, and that's why I get that el Sucaro, and I uso eso donde quiera. Allá me llaman así, Sucaro.
So, as an amateur, how many tournaments, how many fights amateur, like what did you end up accomplishing before you actually decided to move forward?
Yeah, so in amateur, I probably did like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 fights, maybe 60. Back in the days, they didn't have the passbook. So back in the days,
and we're talking what year back in the days?
Like when I started, like 2000, when I started really like in the fighting. Passbook is like they put your name, they got all your records there. So I probably went through like 20 fights without that, because you only use that in tournaments, in big tournaments. Regular fights, they don't put that. They don't ask for that. And I had a ton of fights, like around. I fought in Polish Club a couple times. I fought on the Southbridge football field, in Webster, like in Worcester, like 2 or 3 times. So all over. And in 2006, that's when I won my first tournament. That was the Golden Glove as a novice division. Novice division back then was fighted. They had 0 to 8 fights. That was novice division. Now everything changed. They changed. They got pre-novice. They got all different. But back in the days, it was like that. So then, like, I think I took like a couple, months off. So cogí como 8, I don't know, 6, 8 meses fuera. Y más era porque boxing se hacía más en el invierno. Verano, I was playing softball, volleyball. So I was busy with other sports in the summer. But boxing, I was doing it in the winter. So I was active the whole year.
Now, were you doing that because you weren't necessarily thinking this was going to be something you would be in forever? Or was it just kind of like a hobby at this point?
Yeah, because I took it like a hobby. I mean, like, because I started old.
Yeah.
So I put it like in my mind, like, well, I'm going to do the boxing just, because I like boxing.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that I'm going to be...
Make a career out of it or whatever.
Make a big career out of it, or I'm going to be a world champion. It's going to be really, I think it's too late, it's going to take forever to get there. So I wasn't taking it seriously. So then, 2013, I'm like, you know what? I started getting more like into it again. Like I started getting more into it, and I want to fight the glove again. But now, because I have so many fights, I have to be an open class. Open class, elite fighter, that's 10. You can fight with guys that have like 200 fights. So now when you open, it don't matter. Long as if you have 10, you can fight with guys that have 200, 100. That don't matter. All it matters is your weight. And I won that. I won the Golden Glove again as an open class. And everybody was like, you got talent. You got talent. Right. And I was like, I'm doing pretty good. Like I'm like for an old guy, I'm like.
now what is old guy? Where are we right now?
So I was 33. I was 33 years old, and the reason I say old guy is because for boxing, a lot of people, like when they turn 30, 33, 34, most of these professional boxers, that's how far they go.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just retire because but this is because they've been doing it since little.
Right.
So they were getting like basically an abuse on his head
Mm-hmm.
from 10 years old to 33 years old, getting hit as
Right.
much.
Right.
So that's why they said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But me, I didn't have that issue because
Right.
I started late.
Right.
So when I won that tournament, they even offered me, Ireland was coming down. Ireland. So they called my trainer and they say, hey, we're looking for a 152 fighter. Do you think Wilfredo can represent us, like be USA against Ireland? And like, yes.
And this is a call to David. This is who
Yes.
they reached out to.
Yeah.
Now to go in as an amateur or to go in as a
That
pro?
was an amateur.
Amateur fight.
Amateur.
Okay.
Yeah, they were coming down, and I say yes. We say yes, and there was guys from Ireland. Most of them, they were qualified for the Olympics. And this is me. Doesn't have a lot of experience as an open fighter. I don't have all the fight, but not like the class that they were, because they
Mm-hmm.
were like for the Olympics. So
Sure.
but we say yes, and we did that fight. I lost, split decision. I lost by a point. And then I remember we finished whatever, and we were driving back home, and they called me. They're like, hey, you got to come back. And I'm like, why do I have to come back? Because you won like the best fight of the night. So you have to come back. They have to introduce you. By the time we came back, they already like started putting everything down because I was already
You were thinking
close.
you were going,
yeah,
yeah.
because I'm like wow. And everybody was talking about the fight.
Mm.
And they're like, because they saw my experience, like I think he's ready for the next level.
Right. So
He
heads turned when that fight. So that was sort of the peak of like, all right, amateur. I think it's in my rear view. I need to make this decision of moving into the next level. Correct? Is that
Exactly.
that what it was?
So that's what happened. And one night, I was in the gym y me senté con mi entrenador y le dije a mi entrenador, Dave, yo quiero hacer mi primera pelea profesional. Yo quiero sentir la diferencia de ser, cómo se siente ser aficionado, pero quiero sentir esa diferencia, quiero sentir esa experiencia, qué es lo que viven los boxeadores cuando estaba viendo a Félix Trinidad subiendo al ring, que ellos suben con ese carisma, tú subes al ring con ese honor de tu bandera, representando a tu isla, Miguel Cotto, incluso Camacho. Back in the days, I used to be a fan of Camacho. So, I want to know, like, what's different? Because in amateur, you can't do that.
Right.
I mean, you don't do that. In amateur, any amateur fight, they don't do that. So in pro, you put your music, the music you want in, and you start like concentrate, walking to the ring, and people. I mean, it's amazing. So I wanted, so that's what I told him. Like, before I retire, I need to know. I need to feel that. And in the beginning, he wasn't agree with it because he knows how professional boxing is. Mm-hmm. But when I really sit down and I tell him, like, I just want the experience, he says, okay, now you're ready. So, and we started reaching out to people around, wasn't getting anything. And then all of a sudden, Rivera Promotion call. They're going to do New England's Future One. Mm-hmm. And that's how they offered me to want to do my pro debut. And I said, yes, for sure. And that's how everything started.
And that's how it started. Because to do one thing is to move to professional, because you know that you that's the potential in you that there's more. But what really at this point got you to the point where you had a goal of?
So you know, I went to the first one. There was a brutal fight. That was one of my, today that was my toughest fight. Then I won the second one. It was a little tough too. Then I won my third one by knockout quick. And then I won the fourth one. And then I see some of the fights that was like round at the end, at the same card, but it was at the end fight that they started winning championship belts. And I watched some of the guys, and I'm like, that could be me, you know, like, I want a belt, because I always even when I was an amateur, I want to have a belt, but they wasn't giving any belt. They was just giving trophies, stuff like that. And I want a belt. And then when I stopped doing when I stopped the amateur career, now they start doing belts to the Golden Glove, stuff like that. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I want a belt. Like, and then I'm like, well, now that I'm more dedicated, ahora que soy más dedicado, yo sé que yo puedo, aunque sea, cerrar mi sueño con un título. Y se me dio la oportunidad. Rivera Promotion me dio una oportunidad para pelear por el título vacante. So, tuve la primera pelea, título vacante. Después de casi un año fuera por lo de COVID hit, and then there was no boxing, like sport was like really slow because, you know, the pandemic, you know, everybody was like, so then after everything started getting better, they're like, hey, we doing the show again. It was light welterweight with Pagan. Do you want to fight for the belt? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. So then, like, I trained so hard for it. I was like, but I have to go down in weight. I have to go to 140. Because I was fighting like 145, catch weight, 147, even at 150 I fought once. So this one, it was at 140.
That's great. And 7 pounds for someone who's already at a weight that's work, right? Because there's a lot to try to get.
It's a lot. It was a lot. But I didn't think it was going to be that hard because that's what I want.
Right.
That was my dream right there. I'm not going to say no. And probably if they say 135, you know, I would be like, no. But I'm like, worst case scenario, yeah, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
But, so the fight happened. It was an amazing fight. Everybody loved the fight. It was like toe-to-toe since round 1 to round 6. And there was a draw. So the judges, at the end of the fight, they call it a draw.
Now this is who's the fighter here?
Carlos Marrero.
Okay.
You know, I watched the fight over and over and over, and like, definitely I won the fight, but I respect. You know, I respect the judges. Maybe they are seeing something that I don't see. Right. So that's why they got the job for it. I'm not a judge. I'm a fighter, so that's why they had the job. So then that was in August of 2021. Then December, we got the rematch. To fight again for the belt, rematch. Things get a little more personal. Not on my side, because I'm not a trash talker or anything like that. I'm just a humble. I respect every fighter, because I know this is hard work. You know, got to work hard for this, and you know, you put your life in risk. You know, so you have to respect everything in this sport. You got to respect. So la revancha vino en diciembre. Mi familia quedó un poquito envuelta en eso, cosas que no se tienen que decir, porque yo entiendo que cada boxeador pues busca su manera para promover la pelea, o maybe try to play mind games with you, stuff like that. So what he did, it motivates me more to work harder more. Not because now it wasn't only this.
Right. There was pride. There was a
It
lot
was
more.
more.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot more to it. But I was mature enough and professional enough to don't get what he was saying, like to make me change and do something like, you know, trying to be like a street fight. No.
Just let it fuel you in a way that's just going to,
just to motivate me more to work harder and harder and run harder and work. So here we go, the fight. The fight comes in December. And I did like what we worked so hard in the gym. I even like hit him with a punch that we would practice over and over and over in the gym, and I hit it with that punch. It's that straight body punch. And he went down and he started complaining to the ref, and then the ref called it was a low blow. He got about, I don't know, a minute to recover, whatever. We got the picture, blow it up. That punch
never made it.
That wasn't no low. It was a perfect punch. That was the punch that we. But anyways, the fight went through whatever to the 6 rounds. All he was doing, running, holding me, whatever. Like way before they said the decision, I laid down my knees because I knew, like, wow, we got this. Like all this trash talking is over. Like I got this. I felt like I won. You know, I was already without knowing what happened.
Right.
Already like thank God. Like you know, I finished. I'm healthy and I'm good. We won this fight. And then when they said the decision, another draw. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, now I'm like, what's going on? Like, if this is gonna happen or not? So 2 fights, 2 draws. What's going on? What they want? They just want a 3rd fight? I'm like, I'm not gonna fight 3rd fight. If they don't see me winning 2 fights, they don't see me winning on the last fight, I'm not gonna fight with this kid again. Even at the end, things getting crazy out there. And they agreed. They're like, no, you guys cannot fight again because these things are getting more personal or whatever. And so we're gonna find you. They call me and they say, Fredo, you're still gonna have your shot because the belt's still vacant. So they give me the 3rd opportunity to fight for the belt. Esa oportunidad fue en abril de este año. Tenía mi oponente y se lastimó. El oponente normal se lastimó. Y me pusieron un mexicano. Íbamos contra un mexicano. Estábamos ready para él. Cuando la pelea comienza, me acuerdo, yo tiro un jab, tiro otro jab, me muevo en dirección como para la derecha, tiro otro jab. Cuando lo tengo de frente, hago el 1-2 y siento que conecto, boom, y ahí el pum, él cae y se desploma. Pero cuando él cae, él se fue embocado porque él venía a castigarme. Pero yo lo cogí con 1-2 rápido, pum, rapidito. No habían pasado ni 17 segundos, 19 segundos de la pelea. Y me voy para la neutral corner. The ref told me to go to the neutral corner. The guy's down. And the ref start counting like 1, 2, and then he started listening to his corner, started listening to the guy on the floor. So I'm looking at the ref grabbed him for his arm, pick him up, and bring him to his corner. And I'm like, right there, I'm watching what's going on, and I'm like, well, I won. Because when you go down, no one can pick you up. You have to get up on your own. If you can get up on your own, and then you have to stop the fight, and then make whatever decision why he's stopping the fight. So he cannot help the ref. No one can help you to get up. Even if you go outside of the ring, If something happened, you get punched, and you get outside, you get between the ropes, and you get outside the ring, no one can help you from outside. You have to get up on your own. If you can get up, when he count 10, done, whatever. So when he did that, I was like, I won. So I'm in the corner over here, like, damn, so quick, I'm a champion. I'm like over here, like, wow. And then the ref, like, you can see the ref doesn't know what to do, and then he's like, well, it was an accidental headbutt.
Calls in the doctor and all that.
Yeah, and then like, fight continue. And I'm like, okay, so I went in, and now this guy started like going wild, and then I'm like, right there I was out of my game plan because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, so, and then he gave me a headbutt right here, and then when we have a clinch, when we step back, I was leaking like bad. So I felt all that blood coming out, like pouring like a lot of blood. Right there. I call that a bloody mess.
Just for the people at home, if you want to see what we're talking about here. Oh, man.
The round was over. The ref, right there, when the ref came up, he was already shaking his head.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, oh, they're going to stop it. And I'm like, please, no, God, don't stop this. Don't stop this. And the ref like, it's bad. So my corner stopped the bleeding. And then like, my corner, like, he's okay. He's fine. And the doctor, I don't know. So he came over and now reopened it. And I'm like, even my cut man was like, what are you doing? So, and then he's like, no. And I begged the doctor, please, doctor, let me do one more round. One more round. If I don't finish him in this round, then you got to do what you have to do.
Right.
But just please, give me one round. And he's like, nah, that's it. I can't do this. So he stopped the fight. So when he stopped the fight, like, everything went down. Like, I was like, I remember I went on my knees. I put my knee down, and I'm started, asking God, like, and I'm like, I'm looking, and I'm like, why? Like, why this is happening to me? Like, really? Like, this is a dream? Like, why? Like, third time, and I'm not going home with this. Then I had those doubts. Then I put all those doubts in my mind. I'm like, maybe it's not for me. Like, maybe I'm pushing it too hard, because the first time I said I won one fight, now I want a belt. Like maybe it's not for me. So I started putting all those doubts. I didn't trust the system. I didn't trust the judges. I didn't trust the doctor. I didn't trust the ref. I'm like, what I have to do to win. So
right.
Then I thought they're not going to give me another opportunity.
Right.
Because I already went to 3 fights. I'm not winning, not losing either. But then they say, Wilfredo, we believe in you. You deserve another opportunity, another shot.
Yeah.
And that was in July.
And that's where we are.
And finally,
so
catching.
I want to kind of stop here because you mentioned in your talk how important your family is to you and what it's really meant for you in terms of why you do what you do. In that moment where you're on your knees, you're asking God why, what's going on, but your coach, who is a part of this family as well, but isn't the one I'm having represented here in this moment, but he tells you get up because he knows, he knows what you went through and he understands but he also wants you to take pride in yourself and get up but regardless, you still end up winning that night, right? Because you end up proposing to your wife, renewing your vows. But your daughter as well, someone like you mentioned is, has been in your corner as well. Like your wife, she preps all your food for like your fights. Your daughter helps with the promotions for all your fights as well. So you have like a big support group, right?
Yeah, no, my family is they are part of this success. You know,
Right.
they are, my wife, she's my nutritionist, basically. My daughter is like, we can say she's my manager because
She's like
Dad,
the
you
Don
want to
King.
take care of this? Dad, she made those, put my logo on,
Awesome.
trying to find the shirt, you gotta make this shirt, you gotta get this, you gotta get this outfit, you got to pick this color, Dad, stuff like that. Then my parents, like always right there, supporting me, my sister, ellos son parte de esta victoria. Ellos son parte de mi carrera, porque sin ellos no sé dónde yo iba a estar. Quizás si mi hermana no me hubiese ido a buscar aquella mañana en Puerto Rico, no sé dónde yo estaría.
Right.
So, todos ellos, estoy agradecido con ellos de corazón, los amo. Mi victoria son sus victorias, mis amistades. Tengo un hermano que conocí, ¿cuánto llevamos? Año y medio conociéndolo, años, pero es parte de mi familia, es parte de mi círculo familiar.
Yeah.
Y todos ellos son parte de esta experiencia, de estas victorias que he tenido.
What was the mindset going into this next opportunity? You have this next opportunity that you feel like you've been up and down, you know,
Yep.
and it's a lot of emotions and such. But what take us through that moment to what took you to the
So,
July 15th?
Yeah, so in July, when I was getting to ready for July 15th, so I get more close to God and I start, because He knows why this happened. So sometimes you want something and you really want it, but not because you really want it, it's going to happen. God knows when it's going to be the perfect time for it.
Right.
And that's the part I couldn't understand. And that's what everybody, my parents, my sister, my friends, they all were telling me that. So ellos siempre me decían, Dios tiene un propósito. Al tiempo de Dios, todo es mejor. Dale tiempo a Dios que lo vas a lograr. So, estaba yendo a la iglesia, escuché los consejos de ellos y fui entendiendo y todos esos pensamientos negativos que tenía con el sistema, los jueces, como que todo eso se me fue de la mente. Siempre me puse, Dios tiene un propósito y Él sabe, lo mucho que yo lo quiero el campeonato, se me va a cumplir. Yo sé que lo voy a lograr. So I did what I was supposed to do. Just go there and, train hard and do what we were trained for. And finally, I won the belt.
You won your belt. That's awesome. Well, we got to give this man a round of applause for his journey. As you can see here, this is the decision, the emotion. This is probably one of my favorite pictures. Just the emotion that came over you at that moment. So many things that you had to essentially go through and try, but unanimous decision. There was no
contest.
There was no contest.
Yeah, it was like.
And I believe that fighter also was kind of on that tip too, trying to kind of really.
Oh yeah, no, he was a little like trying to
play mind
games, but I wasn't.
Right.
I didn't let nothing get in my head.
That's awesome.
That was my target, and
that's
and
awesome.
I did it.
So we have a couple minutes. I'd like to leave it open to anyone who has any questions for the champ here. No. Okay. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We'll bring it up to you. No? No? I thought you threw your hand up. You want to? No? Good. No? All right. Well, that's fine. That's all right. No worries. All right. Well, Wilfredo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us tonight.
No, thank you guys for the invitation. Once again, I'm here. Whatever the town needs me, town from Southbridge need me here in the library. If they need me for anything, I'm here. Just give me a call, and I'm here to help and support whatever it is. Because this opportunity, God gave me this for a reason. So I have to pass it on. for this new generation, and old generation, it don't matter. So, Dios me dio esta bendición para algo y esto es para pasárselo a otras personas. Las personas que tengan un sueño o lo que sea, usen mi ejemplo que todo se puede lograr. Nunca es tarde en la vida, con esfuerzo, sacrificio y dejándolo todo en las manos de Dios, todo se puede lograr.
Amen. So, Wilfredo, thank you for allowing us to have this moment with you. You know, obviously sending this along to our youth. Oh, Dad has a, hold on, before I go, Dad has a question. Dad has something to say. Go ahead.
Bueno, yo no sé inglés, pero lo que quiero decirle a mi hijo es que me siento orgulloso de él y que, wow, logró su sueño. Como él lo logró, otros lo pueden lograr también. Así que para adelante y nunca se quiten. Vamos para encima. Y arriba Puerto Rico.
Thank you. Thank you. So with that, we will end the show today. Thank you to everyone that came to visit, our live audience. For Southbridge Community Television, I'm Charlie Diaz. Thanks for watching. Awesome. Fantastic.